from a different star, flying over streets and the broken hearts. But they can't even touch us, we found a different beat. Paradise is waiting and we bought the lead. Ooh, getting caught in the mist, there's so many that never get out of. They're feeding the fears and the doubts.
Very busy Only for the senior interregional competition for British Dressage. Mega and I are representing Team Green South East region in the prelim category. We've got quite a few teams, I think it's about 12 teams for our region. And you basically ride your test, you're paired with other people riding at different levels, and all of your scores are combined to then see where you finish up on the final day. So go Team Green. Meg is all settled in her stable. She's super chill to take away. I love going away with her because she's just so relaxed. But let's take you along for the ride.
So we had arrived at Onley on the Friday, but there was no competitions or anything on the Friday. It was just a chance to meet everybody else in all of the teams, get all the horses settled in, and do a bit of arena familiarisation.
Good ponies, get apples. Oh, not the whole thing, greedy guts. Plats are all in.
I met him on a sunny day in late July, and everything turned upside down. I almost lost track of time as weeks went by. I couldn't get him off my mind. I told him I want that great love, like standing in the middle of a bonfire. You don't know how you got there, but you hold tight, knowing that you can't get burned. Just tell me how we lost track of everything but each other. I honestly don't know. Then tell me how we messed up, drifting away from each other. Didn't want to let you go. Cause we wanted different things and
Woohoo, let's go. First test, prelim 17A. So I've obviously watched this back before because we're now a couple of weeks post the competition, and I know watching this test back now that I'm rushing Mega a little bit out of her rhythm, and I was a little bit too fussy with my hands throughout this test, which impacted our marks and is quite a common thread throughout the judges' comments. But you'll see I've got all three of the judges' marks for each movement popping up on the screen as we go through. So we've come up the centre line. It was fairly straight, a bit wobbly and a bit fussy in the mouth. And then the change across the rein there, which was nice enough, but again, could have been a bit steadier in the contact. We then come round and we do our first 20-metre circle at A. This was okay. But I just feel like I'm trying to push her on out of her rhythm a little bit too much, which is then causing a bit of tension and allowing her not to be quite so supple as perhaps I would like when working through. We then come across and change the rein. This was nicer, I think, than the first, because you can see she's getting her slightly slower tempo back to her trot there, and I think the marks reflected that. We then come round and do another 20-metre circle here at C, and I think from memory this was a slightly better marked circle. I think I was better at getting the bend around the inside leg, and yeah, the judge at E picked up on that, so we got an 8 for that, which was really good. We then pop up into canter on the corner. She put her quarters in there, which is a little trick that she likes to do. I didn't do a good enough job of keeping her supple to my inside leg. We then go round to B and do a 20-metre circle. I feel like there as well I was just losing the canter a little bit, but there's good bounce, there's good punch to this canter, so I'm pleased with that. We then continue on round and we do a half circle across to the track here. We got some good marks, a 7.5 from the judge at E again there, and then we change the rein coming back to trot after X, which I think we just lost a little bit of balance there in the transition, but overall fairly pleasing. We then basically repeat that on the other rein, so we then pick up canter in this corner here, and I think a fly or something got up her nose, which is a little annoying because that impacted our marks, but we carry on and we do our 20-metre circle then at E, which she's looking nice. Again, a really nice punchy bouncy canter, which then the marks here you'll see have dropped down, and that's because she then does this little head flick there at the end, which again I think was the flies, so that was again a bit of a sad costly of the marks. But we then do another half circle and we then change the rein again coming back to trot after X, which again I think we could have just done with a little bit more balance, but that was actually better on that rein. We then transitioned to medium walk. I thought that was quite a nice fluid transition. It was just a little of the unsteady head there at the end, just before, just in front of the judge at C, which wasn't overly handy. This is then medium walk, and again, it's just a little bit of unsteadiness in the contact, which I think affected some of our marks there. We then go into our free walk on a long rein, which if you've watched any of our vlogs before, you'll know is a bit of Megan's party trick. She's quite good at that one. So we got a good variety of marks there from the judges, which was really good. We then pick back up into medium walk, and this is just basically me trying to manage Mega into not trotting too early, but she often gets quite tense in this bit, so I don't think I kept her very supple around my leg in that corner, which is where we lost some marks. We then pick up trot here, and we continue proceeding down the centre line until we do our halt and salute. Lots of lovely comments from all three judges saying how she's got lovely rhythmical paces, lots to like, just contact issues today, holding back on the marks.
We are all done and dusted. Megwin is now coming out for a little well-deserved hand graze after being a little superstar in her test. She warmed up really nicely, did a pleasant test, can't be displeased with that, so we're just waiting for scores on the doors, aren't we, Megs? This grass is just insane. Mega thinks she's died and gone to heaven. We can't quite find the perfect spot, can we? There's just too much nice grass to choose from. Look, she can't even finish her mouthful. Mumu's tired. Good morning, good morning. It is day 2. Megwin has just had her breakfast. I'm on mucking out duty. We're not on until much later today, so our test is at 1ish. We, as a team, are currently sitting in 5th, which is very good. We finished up individually in 8th place yesterday with 68.95%. So I was quite pleased with that because there was little bits, hello Megs, that we could definitely have improved on. Just things like canter transitions, nothing like major, just like she could have been a little bit softer. So hoping to improve on that today, aren't we, missus? But because we've got a little bit more of a civilised time today, we've got a bit more of a leisurely start, haven't we? She said, I'm just going to chew the fork. Is that toasties? Ready to go for test number 2. Wish us luck.
So I talk more about this later in the video, but this circle here, after the bell has rung, was quite costly. apparently you're not allowed to go on the centre line once the bell has rung. That will class as a presentation of your first centre line. But I didn't know that. So anyway, this is me, I think, starting my test at this point. So we come up the centre line. It was quite a nice entry. I feel like today I was trying to keep her normal rhythm and not rush her too much. I think we just lost a little bit of balance there through the turn, which is what dropped some of the marks for some of the judges. We then do our 15-metre circle here at R. I was a naughty pilot and rode that slightly too big, which is what caused the array of 6.5s for that particular circle. Sorry, Meggie, because she was actually going really nicely, but we move. We then carry on, do our change the rein across the diagonal. That was much nicer, much straighter and in a good rhythm. We then carry on round and then basically repeat the same thing on the other rein. So we then do another 15-metre circle here. And again, Lauren does it a little bit too big. Meg just was drifting a little bit out of her shoulder, which means where I was riding it too big, it was then even bigger because she's drifting out of her shoulder. So again, we lost some marks across all three judges for that. But I'm really pleased with her rhythm here. We then transition down into walk, and I thought that was a really smart transition, really fluid. And then we do a half circle here in medium walk, which is right in front of the judges, and we struggle with tension in the medium walk sometimes, but actually we did really well there and got a really good reward in our marks because Mega kept her rhythm in her walk there. We then go into our free walk on a long rein. She did this so nicely. I remember at the time thinking, yeah, stretch, girl. Good girl. Yeah, can't be disappointed at all with that, can you? 2 7.5s and an 8. Very, very good. We then pick up here, and Mega knows this test far too well, so I was anticipating what was coming a little bit. And one of the judges actually, I think, commented that and picked up on that she knew that she was going to transition to trot. So that just caused a little bit of tension there, but we carried on. We then do a circle at A and pick up canter over the centre line. But watching this, my circle looks quite square, so that's not great. And that would have, I think, prevented some of the higher marks, but actually it wasn't too noticeable, I don't think, at this end. At the other end, it's definitely very square and they pick up on it, so it's quite costly. We then do another circle here, transitioning back down to trot on the second half of the circle. Again, really pleased here with her nice bouncy, punchy, rhythmical canter, trying to maintain the balance in the transition, which I think was slightly better than yesterday. We then do the change with the rein across the diagonal. Thought that was quite smart. Again, I just lose her slightly here on the turn. Needed to keep some more suppleness around my inside leg. This is where you can see, this is supposed to be a circle, but I've ridden right into the corner, so that's very square, isn't it? So that was costly, hence the 6.5s here, because the transition was obedient, and I think the canter is nice, so that's what caused our mark to drop, sadly. We then continue down along this long side. She was just getting a little bit on the forehand there, so I just took a little bit of a fiddle to try and get her back with me. She was still trying to go a bit on the forehand here, but she's looking nice and bouncy, so I think it was only maybe noticeable, to the judge at C. And there was a little bit of a head flick in the downward transition there, which was a bit of a shame. But otherwise, very pleasing. Here we then allow for a stretchy trot, and she did this really nicely. Not really a change in her trot rhythm, which is good, and she is stretching down. She could stretch down a little bit more, but I'm quite pleased with that. Then we have the task again of having to pick her up and manage that tension. But I think we actually did this okay, just a little bit there on the turn, unfortunately. But this centre line was really good. I was determined not to let her slam the brakes on, which she often does if you're not halting at X. So she does a really big, expressive trot there up the centre line, and then a nice halt and a final salute. really good, really pleased
We
with
are
her.
all finished. I've just got back in the lorry to get changed, hence looking like a sweaty little egg. But oh my gosh, I am so pleased with her. That was such a good test, so much better than yesterday. Like, yesterday was fine, but I went in the warm-up today and she warmed up really nicely, and yeah, today felt more like how she did at regionals, so the sort of caliber of test I know we're capable of producing. Yeah, she was so good. Her free walk was, even the steward said when we came out and he was doing our tack check, he was like, what do you normally get for your free walk, because that looked incredible. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what we get marked for that. But yeah, what a superstar. I'm absolutely over the moon with her, buzzing. So yeah, just the rest of the day to go, wait and see how the rest of our teamies go, and where we end up, I'll keep you posted.
The stars driving down the boulevard at night, playing Coldplay on repeat, watching people on the street as I go by. And it doesn't even matter to me where I go, I just feel I need to take a ride. Got my coffee cup to go, and I'm gonna hit the road tonight. Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go. As the sun goes down, no, it doesn't even matter to me where I go, just feel I need to take a ride. I don't know when I'll get back, keep on going and relax tonight. Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go. I'm not heading for the stars, driving down this boulevard tonight. Yeah, playing Coldplay on repeat, watching people on the street as I go by. Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go.
Welcome home, committee. Having kisses. Oh, that's nice. So we have just got home, and as you might be able to tell by the light, it is quite late now. It's I think about 9 p.m. It's been a very, very long weekend, but oh my goodness, such fun. So we actually finished up today for today's test in 8th place again, so very consistent. 8th place for both days of competitions, which, as you will have seen, meant overall we placed 9th individually, which our class was a decent sized class. I think there was over 30 in it, so that was really, really good. And then overall our team came 5th, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, really, really pleased with that. There was, however, a steep learning curve. So before my test today, the judge rang the bell while I was going around in the arena. We unusually had to be in the arena. We weren't allowed to go around the edge. There wasn't enough space. So then the judge rang the bell, and I thought, oh, I'll just do a quick circle before I go up my centre line. So I did a circle and carried on. Anyway, when I got my test sheets, I'd had a 2-mark deduction from every judge because how I'd done the circle and like crossed over the centre line meant that they had classed that as a presentation of my first centre line. So it was like I then was marked as if I had to represent for my centre line. So yeah, that was very costly. Had I not done that, which I didn't know was a thing, I would have come 5th today and my score would have been just under 69%. So I don't know how that would have affected the overall like individual placings or the team placings, but it's just one of those things, I guess. You live and you learn. Yeah, really just annoyed for Mega that she didn't get the proper score that she deserved. But yeah, a bit of a learning curve. So yeah, if you're not familiar with a BD rule I mean, we don't often start a test inside the arena, like you're normally going around the edge, aren't you? But one of those things we will learn. But yeah, I am really pleased with her. What a result, yeah, to do our first ever interregional competition representing South and East, and yeah, come away with some gorgeous frilly rosettes. And yeah, individual and team placings. Definitely did not disgrace ourselves, and they might, on that basis, ask us back. Who knows? We shall see. But I hope you guys have enjoyed coming along this weekend. Sorry it hasn't been like a super chatty one. It was just really social and really fun. Actually, I wasn't in front of the camera or on my own like too often, and I'm not at the stage yet where I can vlog in front of people. So yeah, hope you enjoyed coming along all the same. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you for another video very soon. Bye guys.